So I'll just start by introducing first myself. My name is Eman Mojali. I'm a third-year PhD student. And the title of my presentation, although that it's not pertaining to my PhD thesis, but it is a part of the gap that I found when I finalized the literature review. So the title is Cultural Dimensions of AI Trust and How GCC Consumer Perceive AI Insurance Personalization. So this is the table of the content of the presentation, starting with the introduction. Just I'll start with something we call the GCC AI paradox. So in the, if you look at infrastructure and investment matrix, so this is an impressive number from GCC perspective. So the internet penetration is above 97% compared to the other world. Insurance market valued at 28 billion USD at 2023. A national vision we have across all the GCC, like Saudi Arabia 2030, UAE 2031, and Qatar 2030. And of course, we have a robot and modernized tech infrastructure. But on the other side, we look at the gap. So AI adoption is below 25% versus 60% in West industry. Product type is a still standardized product, and personalized is critically low. And major barrier is the trust factor unaddressed. Sorry, this is bring us to the main or the center question of the of this research paper is actually, although that we have all this impressive number, the infrastructure, and as well the vision, the national visions, why still the AI is not as expected from all the parties within the GCC countries? And it brings us to the problem statement, which is, of course, despite the rapid digital transformation, we have still minimum AI adoption, and as well as the trust model fail to explain the GCC, which is Western, although that there is a framework that it's been used in Western industry, like technology acceptance theory and other traditional theory, but still this is failed to be to complement the GCC context. And the other side, which is, or part, which is the knowledge gap, which is the understanding of culture influence and the customer trust, which bring us to the research objective, which is identify factors, which is specific factors affecting trust and AI insurance, examine the mechanism to analyze how trust formed within the GCC, and as well developing a framework that would carry the AI adoption. The theoretical background, which is AI personalization and insurance. So we have the traditional sort of insurance model, and we have the AI-driven model. So within the GCC, this is the traditional model because it is democratic segmentation, static pricing annual, which is actually we look at previous experience, and then we predict the future rate, and manual underwriting, and as well as generic or standardized product. AI-driven model, which will be more of behavioral individual analysis, real-time statistic, automatic-driven underwriting, automated underwriting, and hyper-personalized product. This is to look at actually the culture side. I use Hofstede's culture dominance framework, in which having the four dimension: power, distance, uncertainty avoidance, and collectivism and Islamic value. So each one of them comparing GCC, providing how GCC is locating themselves within the dimension versus USA. The research methodology, so I actually follow the review follow that PRISMA guideline, having a 3-concept research, which is technology, and the domain, the technology is AI, machine learning and algorithm, and domain is insurance and takaful, and geographical or cultural, GCC, heritage, and trust. I look at 6 number of data resources, and as well as taking the criteria for 6 years articles, and as well conference paper. So when selection of the process, so initially I have 347, we have a duplicate of 89, then moving the duplicate and looking at what is excluding from the 258. I have the title and abstract criteria and citation, so it came to 11 and 12. Then the full text of 91 being there, which is again there was a changing of what is actually within those group addressing the main gaps. So we have finally 68 number of literature, or I mean study, or which has come from specific to GCC 42, and comprehensive is 26. On those analyzing the peer reviews or the papers, so we look at number of barriers. The first one is power distance, which is the positive side of it. It is the way that we accept the leaders, and the GCC comparing to the Western, we follow usually the authority and regulatory guidance. So it's not like it's personalized or self motive. And the negative effect is lack of individual assessment, adopting, which we call it paralyzed, which is waiting for a direction, and as well as skepticism towards the unified stir. The second barrier is collectivism, which is looking at what's actually the we paradigm, because in the GCC we look at the group, what is the prefer from the family. We actually as well trust the local companies, not the international companies, and this is coming to the 3 mechanism trust as it's mentioned here. And this is actually I have within the articles is 26% providing with those analysis. Then the third barrier, which is uncertainty avoidance, so and privacy. Usually within the GCC, as per the studies, or the reviews, they avoid the uncertainty. So anything that they are uncertain because of the AI driven, they prefer not to deal with. They prefer to contact face to face or have a call rather than using full automated AI. And this is the trust mechanism, an institutional dominance, and there is the individual assessment. Within the GCC, we are more of having the, again, back to the receiving the guidance, more comfortable if the regulator or the government is announcing a direction than self-initiatives. From the other gaps within the finding, the strategic enable of a trust-based AI adoption. So we have the power distance, the uncertainty, collectivism, and as well Islamic value, which is the main driven on the trust component within the GCC. Which bring us to how we form cultural trust adoption within the GCC. So pertaining to the other models that we highlighted, the traditional model within the Western countries. Now, this is the model can be reflecting, having a three integration, which is the cultural dimension, the trust building mechanism, and explaining or explained valued. So all these three will increase the adoption of AI to a certain level that it is will be and compare to the other Western countries. And therefore we have 7 propositions for the AI adoption, and each one of them is matching the dimension and the framework that it has already been highlighted. In conclusion, the key finding is we have 4 major cultural barriers, and we have the institutional trust, which is it have to be addressed from the government and religious parties. Western model are insufficient to the GCC contents, and the 7 proposition will develop an empirical test. The practice implication, seek a regulatory, of course, and partnership, obtain Sharia endorsement, use community engagement and family messaging, implementing phase routes and to the lower certain. The future research direction, which is definitely we need more of focus, more of studies on GCC mainly content, and as well as on providing a more wider cover that would be helping us to validate a framework. Thank you.